Welcome to the first interview of the series, Kolkata Ports in Focus. With a number of initiatives, ANZ India Business Chamber has been emerging as one of the most active business chambers at an international level and the first chamber which realized the great potential of connecting business communities from India, Australia, Singapore, and New Zealand. As part of our expansion plans, we are focused on projecting East and Northeast India with potential collaborations. Within this context, I would like to welcome you all to the Industry and Insights East and Northeast series, an initiative aimed at showcasing the emerging business trends and collaborative opportunities of various industries in the region. We are privileged and honored to have the chairman of Shyama Prasad Mukherjee Ports, also known as SMP, with us today. Welcome, Mr. Vineet Kumar, and thank you for making the time for this interview.
Yeah, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. Now we'll start with the broader objectives of the port and the kind of strategies it has employed to realize the Act East policy envisioned by the current Indian government. We would like to know more about how the port operations have evolved to facilitate the various connectivity projects, such as the Bangladesh-China, India-Myanmar project, and also the Caladan Multimodal Transport Corridor project.
See, Calcutta Port, now known as Shyama Prasad Mukherjee Port, is the oldest major port in the country, and we have been serving the Eastern India since 150 years. We just completed 150 years. The entire Eastern India, Northeast, Nepal, Bhutan is served by us, and we have been serving them well. Bangladesh, Myanmar, and Thailand, the regions in this eastern these all come under a broader plan of Eastern region connectivity. So we are looking towards a broader plan of connecting all our Eastern partners. Now for Bangladesh, I would say that very recently we have started specific services to Bangladesh, not only connecting Bangladesh, but connecting the northeastern states of Tripura and other states by having a transit agreement with Bangladesh government. Like Indian goods can also go to Chittagong and Mongla port, and from there they can be transited via road to the to states like Tripura and other states. So instead of going through a circuitous land route through Chicken Neck, this is another option which we have started for connecting the northeastern states via Bangladesh. It's a very recent thing, and our traffic with Bangladesh, I would say, is the growth is to the tune of, in the last 3 years, it has grown almost 3 times. And to facilitate that, we have coastal agreements and inland water agreement with Bangladesh, wherein both these sides provide a lot of facilities to each other. We give special free time to the Bangladesh trade. The discounts, even to the tune of 40% on our vessel-related charges and cargo-related charges for facilitating this trade. And both the governments are also working very closely to enhance the trade. As regards Caladan is a very strategic as well as strategic project for the country to connect Mizoram and the other states. I will happy to inform you that the Sitwe port is already completed. The work is completed. It has a company has been appointed to operate it, and we are very very vigorously looking towards making some initial shipments towards it, maybe in few months' time. So there is a great progress on this, and I feel that Calcutta, Chattogram, and Sitwe, if you see geographically, can make a very good triangle for promoting trade and commerce in the 3 countries and connecting them together and bringing down the cost of movement of goods.
Now, Bengal is usually considered to be pivotal to the Act East policy due to its strategic location, as you mentioned, maritime potential, and its position as a gateway to both Southeast Asia and Northeast India. We briefly discussed on that. But this has given way to new developments such as the Sagar port, Tajpur port, and the Kulpi port to boost trade and connectivity in the region. With so many ports coming up in the region, what is SMP's competitive advantage?
See, one of the major advantages of SMP is its location. See, the Calcutta port is right there in the heart of the city. The Haldia port is closest to the largest steel manufacturing hub in the country, that is Jamshedpur. So we have a strategic advantage of being close to our hinterland. So that is one strategic advantage we have, which which is there and which will remain. But we can't be complacent with this. The supply chain and logistics is it is a different ball game with the competition coming in. We are our first strategy will be to partner with any of these developments which is happening, be it Tajpur or Sagar or Kulpi port. We want to have a partnership with them so that the entire there is a synergy between the development which is taking place in this area. And other than that, we are very strongly working on reducing our cost, improving our customer services, and providing end-to-end solutions. So these are the three areas where we are vigorously working so that to have a competitive advantage and continue to have this. Another reason I would say that the growth estimates of the eastern region of India. If you see, the growth of West Bengal has been above the national average for the last few years. So, and we expect that the entire Eastern India as well as the Northeastern India is going to grow at a very fast rate in the coming years. And the total basket is going to be, is going to be much bigger. So there is scope for, new ports also to come in and for us also to grow. Because the steel industry is, the steel vision of India is to have 300 million tons by 2030. A lot of its capacity will come in the areas because the iron ore mines are here close to us. So there is likelihood that there will be capacity expansions here. And if you see already some steel plants which were not working, Bhushan Steel, etc., have been taken over by other players and they are starting. So we see that there's a robust growth in this area. So there will be enough cargo for times to come. But on our end, we are, working on our strategies to continue to have our market share and to increase it in the future.
Thank you for that. Now we'll move on to the technical initiatives of SMP under your leadership. So recently, SMP has invested nearly 40 crores for digital adoption, part of which includes the development of an integrated e-marketplace to facilitate coastal shipping. Could you please elaborate on the function and objectives of this e-marketplace?
See, the total volume is not only 40 crores, it is actually 160 crores. We are implementing an ERP solution of 120 crores in both the ports of Calcutta and Haldia, and it will be up and running by next March or April. But yes, these 40 crores were for the very recent initiative which we have started. See, the coastal shipping is a very important segment. But the problem with coastal shipping is that while you have integrated solutions available for international shipping, coastal shipping needs aggregation at certain points because there are many small players. There is need for an aggregator to come in and then promote coastal shipping because they may not have an entire shipload of material to give, but there are people, suppose a couple of people or three people come together, they can give us a shipload. So there is a need for aggregation. There is a need for people to know that yes, this coastal movement is happening. While you have clear visibility about railways, about roads, and about the international shipping, but that visibility is not there for coastal. So the idea of making this coastal solution is to have a platform where the users, the shipper, means the ship owners, the custom clearing agents, the aggregators, everybody comes on a platform, and there is an economic solution available for people to send their goods across via this coastal.
Sure. Now, also under your vision and aligned to the ease of doing business objectives, An RFID-based port access control system is in place in both Kolkata Dock System and Holdia Dock Complex for addressing traffic congestion, essentially. Has it increased the operational efficiency of Kolkata Dock Systems and Holdia Dock Complex?
Definitely, it has increased our it has increased, the lot of ease of doing business. Now you can get your entry permit sitting at your home. You can pay for the permit, sitting at your home by your credit card, and the permit will be e-delivered to you, and then you can just enter the port just like that. There is no need to go and get a permit. So it's a very big advantage. So it has, what has happened, the time which was being taken at the port gates, which was around 2.5 minutes, has come down to roughly less than a minute or 40 seconds. So the turnaround of the trucks has become much faster. So the turnaround has become much faster. And we have also integrated this entire RFID with our internal systems, so that as soon as you flash this card when you are going out, everything comes on the screen as to how much cargo, what kind is going out. So our security agency CISF, which looks into this, so they also it makes easier for them to ensure the security. So it has enhanced both ease of doing business as well as security for us.
Thank you. And has there been an increase in revenue since the implementation of RFID port access control system?
There is a slight increase in revenue. I would say there is a slight increase in revenue as compared to maybe last year. But what we are finding is that the ease of doing or getting these permits has increased tremendously. So that is one thing which has saved a lot of time for our users. So otherwise, the people have to physically come, apply for it, pay the money and take it. Now, sitting at their home, they can do it, and they can not just do it for one people, they can do it for multiple peoples. And suppose a truck is coming from, say from Kanpur or somewhere, otherwise the truck has to come, get the permit, physically take it from somebody, and then, so it used to lead us to a lot of detention and route also. Now, all that is gone. Now we are working for a solution wherein we are trying to send it onto their mobile via a QR code or something like that, so that it is still easier, further easier. So we are working on that also.
The next question pretty much targets that solution that you're working on, because SMP has again been in the spotlight for launching a new web and mobile app for transport solutions. And this app aims at directly connecting the importers with the transporters, providing real-time visibility for enhanced tracking and traceability of available trucks and trailers in the Kolkata dock systems. So who have mostly benefited from this app? And has there been a positive response from early adopters?
So I would, I would look at this we have looked at this from a different perspective. We are a city port, and we are a very socially responsible organization. We want to reduce the carbon footprints. As of now, daily in Calcutta port, there are 700 trucks, 700 to 800 trucks which are coming in, and 700 to 800 trucks which are going out. Around 40% of it is doing only one-way movement. Like if they are coming to drop the container, or at other place, an empty truck is coming to just pick up a container. Our effort is that this empty movement should be reduced. Now, with this solution, if there's a truck owner and he is going to drop something in the container, he can show his availability in the app that yes, after 2 hours he's available inside the port to take another container and take back. So with the same truck, which is now carrying, doing one trip loaded and another trip empty, he'll be able to do both the trips with the loaded containers. And from our side, the advantage will be, there'll be reduction in the number of trips. So truck trips will reduce, congestion will reduce, pollution will reduce, and cost-wise also it will be beneficial both for the importer or exporter and as well as for the truck operator, because he's getting more revenue on both the trips. So with this intention, we have launched this. We have got very good response. Already More than 1,000 trucks have been, registered on this, and also a lot of CHS and everybody is registered. So we are getting good response on this, and we are working further on this.
Congratulations for that initiative. And in the last part of the interview, we've covered a lot so far. We'd like to know your views on some crucial security issues associated with port logistics. So the post-pandemic scenario has shed new light on disaster management and recovery plans in various industries. In your opinion, what are some of the disasters ports should be on the lookout for?
See, we have very recently the entire Bay of Bengal. Now, one of the great learnings has been to be prepared for such kind of disasters, natural disasters like cyclones or floods or things like that. And what we learned is that it's very important to secure your communication equipments, because that becomes one of the biggest challenge at that point of time. In other ports, there have been cases where the cranes have fallen down because of